With the Grizzlies down 7 players, Ja Morant took over the game. Like, that's what superstars do. And anytime you have a player like Ja Morant, you have a chance any given night. And you knew that he went into last night with a little extra something. They had just lost 2 straight games. Also, anytime the Bucks come to FedEx Forum, apparently all the Grizzlies do is beat them now. They even beat them last year with the zombiest of the zombie Grizz. The Bucks are in a bad place. That is another very important component to last night, is just how bad the Bucks actually are. They look old. They look slow. Damian Lillard couldn't do anything. Scottie Pippen Jr. talked about having the defensive assignment on Dame last night and said he certainly had something to prove because a certain coach on the other bench didn't believe in him. That was a little jab at Darvin Ham, who's an assistant for the Bucks. But it was just for one night, like, take everything else aside. It was such a good vibe bounce back because dire straits yesterday. We had our show in the morning, that I went on Gary's show, continued the conversation coming off that Nets loss. Vernon's show was talking about it all day. I was listening to the Vernon show yesterday afternoon, and after about 40 minutes, I just had to take a break. I was like, I need to decompress from the sadness and the despair of everything going on. And the Grizzlies very easily being down so many bodies last night. Even John Conchar didn't play. That allowed Jalen Wells to make his first NBA start. And I love Jalen Wells. Like, he's being asked to do so much so early, and we've certainly seen the ups and downs of a rookie. But the confidence from that kid is...
When did he become confident?
CJ, you want to know when I told you he became confident?
I remember this being said.
Well, it started in the one summer league game where he was like 6 of 7 from 3, and then at the Grizzlies open practice, you tried to hate on my Jalen Wells looks confident at open practice take, and look at him! Look at him now! The best shooter out of Washington State since Klay Thompson.
They should do more open practices.
They really should, man.
Some confidence.
They really should. It was the 40-point first quarter. Gave it no doubt. The Grizzlies have now won back-to-back third quarters, which feels important. But like, it was so simple last night. Put the ball in your best player's hands and watch him go to work. Some of those passes from Ja, the scoring started early. He had, I think, 7 of the Grizzlies' first 11 points and really felt like there was a scorer's mentality there. But when he started dishing out the passes, the no-look to Santi, and then obviously the one from his butt is the highlight that's everywhere. I didn't see if it ended up being SportsCenter's #1 top play, but it should have been. Like, I bet it was the Garrett Wilson catch.
We were in, which it shouldn't be. Let me be clear. It should be the Ja assist.
We've never seen that.
We've seen phenomenal one-hand grabs by receivers and cornerbacks.
Yes.
Tight ends, and I feel like Marshall Faulk and other running backs have had some of those in the past. We hadn't seen an assist, right? So it should be the assist. 1.
It's fun to say.
2, it is fun to say the assist. 2, we're sitting in, we went trick-or-treating. I'm following along with all of the sports that I can follow along with Grizzlies. Obviously, the chief amongst them. And we end up going to a chain establishment after we trick-or-treat. And we're sitting down, and the games are up on the screen. And so I'm watching the games. And he makes the assist. And I just go, holy bleep. Was that from his butt? And the people I was around were like, wait, what are you talking about? I was like, no, y'all have got to look up and watch this assist. This is amazing. This is good stuff. And it's a fun reminder that as long as you've got one of the best players in the NBA, as long as you got one of the 10 best players in the NBA, and I said 10 because I was thinking 5, but I'm going to go with 10. As long as you got one of those dudes, they can take over a game in any given moment. It felt like with the comments he made at the end of the Nets game with the, okay, y'all want me to play better, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
He tried to tell us.
It was like, oh, okay, he's got that type of mentality going into this game where he's going to do everything in his power to drag this team to a win. He didn't have to do much dragging. They jumped on the Bucks early and just never let them come up for air. But as long as you have Ja, he's able to win you games on his own. Now, how many can he do? How will that affect the wear and tear on his body? That's yet to be seen. But Ja Morant is absolutely the type of NBA player who, when you step on the court, you know you can win a game because that dude is there and he just needs a little bit of help. He got that from Santi, Wells, and others last night. And then he did a large portion of the lifting by himself.
He did a large portion of the lifting, but I do think it's important to point out, like, the Grizzlies got that win because of role players stepping into increased roles last night and performing very well. Like, we've talked ad nauseum about the rotations this season and going 11 deep, and last night you actually ended up seeing a debut of Colin Castleton. Colin Castleton came off the bench with Yuki Kawamura. I thought we were going to get Yuki's first shot. When Yuki came off the bench last night, so much better than when Yuki came off the bench at the end of the Nets game, because at the end of the Nets game, everything was sad and over. At the end of the last night's game, he was in because the game was so out of hand, and one of these days we'll have the first Yuki bucket of the season in FedEx Forum, and that place is going to go wild. But last night, Taylor Jenkins had to tighten his rotation because you just didn't even have enough bodies. And even so, Ja only had to play 29 minutes last night. We still haven't seen a 30-minute Ja Morant game because he only had to play 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. I didn't think we'd see him at all in the fourth quarter, but the Bucks made a little bit of a run, and it was nice to see him get back in there. But when you look, all 5 starters in double-figure scoring, obviously Jalen Wells performing the way that he did last night. He also had some of that assignment on Damian Lillard, and I think seeing the defensive gains from Jalen Wells have been just as impressive as his continued growth on the offensive side of the ball. Santi's been great. Santi played 33 minutes last night. Wells played 35 minutes last night. Jaren Jackson Jr., again, having the opportunity to play against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis really struggles with Jaren. And the thing is, Giannis is great. Like, when you talk about the top 10 players in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo is right in there. And he had 37 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists last night. But nothing else is working around Giannis. And everything was working around Ja.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.